Excuse me. I'm gonna play some music. You know the vibes. Yo, what up, Brad? I think we got Bink coming in now. Alright, there we go. We're back. What's up, Fett? Throwing ass for Bink, bouncing ass for Bink. Love to see it. What up, Teabag? Bink. I'm hanging in there. Shit's kind of fucked up with my job and a bunch of other shit, but yeah. I'm staying positive though. Oh, we jumping, KP. I feel you. Am I too loud? You guys can hear me over the music? Or is the music too loud, rather? Maybe we're driving, so tell me. Yeah. I'm in a fucked up situation because um, um, essentially the job, our main customer got ransomware, so I went from 40 hours to 25 hours. And the last couple of weeks have been really fucking tight. But what up, Kuma? Kuma's always working double duty. Shouts out to Kuma. Also playing TFT. Shout out to multitasking. Shout out to Kuma. I'm just doing all my proper engagements before we get really into the stream. Bink, are you ready to I'm gonna give you a call. Yep. Alright, I'm gonna call you. Perfect timing.
All right, hold on, give
Alrighty.
me a hot minute. I'm gonna go get my
Can you hear me? Okay, cool.
Yes,
Alright.
me.
Yeah, I feel that, Kuma. Yeah, I feel that, Kuma. I think you have my stream turned up a little high. I think you have my stream turned up a little high.
Hey, yo, what's up, shawty?
Hey, Freckle. Hey, Freckle. I can hear my stream in your mic.
All right. Yeah. How it do? How it do?
Does all right. It does. It does what it does. I was
It
just
does what it do.
it do what it do.
Yeah.
I was just
Do it.
checking my what's up, her NNN? Am I the homo sex? Sure, I guess. Kinda. Sometimes. If you're implying what I think you're implying.
Yo.
Yeah, I don't know what that even means. Yeah. I'm just trying to draw context clues. But what we talking about? What we on tonight, Bink? What you got for me?
Uh. So yeah. I thought we were just gonna watch. We were gonna watch like Tuesday.
That's
Well,
straight.
Monday. Monday. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to play it or are you gonna play it?
Yeah, you play it so we make sure it's not boo boo.
All right. I'll do it. Let me pull some shies up real quick. Some shees.
I don't know. It's so weird because I'm usually like a chatter.
Yeah, I feel it. All right. Link me the first video. I'm also gonna open a window really quick because it's a little warm in here.
Or let me look. The video we started on, right? Yeah.
I should have put a t-shirt on.
I'm just gonna add it. So like, yeah.
All right. Whoops. Am I a homosexual?
I am for you.
Real Baltimore vibes. I'm pretty sure I just heard gunfire. All right, it was quick, so I guess whatever happened, it's done now. I hope.
Damn, it'd be like that.
All right, let's get to it.
I just want to do a quick disclaimer. Please do not be like me and have an essay that your teacher gives you a good, like, let me say
So
a
in
year
this
to do
video,
and only do that bit in 30 minutes. Don't do that. Don't be like me. Don't be like me.
Oh, whoops. Okay. Let me. All right. I'm sharing my screen. There we go. And you all cannot see what I'm looking at, so I'm going to show you as well. Bong. There it is. Everything's working. Oops, that's not what I want to do. All right. All right, you ready? I'm about to start.
Yeah.
Okay.
want to talk about the Black Women Deserve Luxury movement or Black Girl in Luxury movement and how some Black women are trying to insert race politics and activism in the movement.
Realize what my issue is
Can
with the
you
Black luxury
can you hear
because I couldn't pinpoint anything, but now
the
I
video
have.
through my mic?
Not right now. It's good. It's okay now.
All right.
I feel as if it tells Black women, right? Because it does actually say this: Black women, you deserve the world. You deserve all of the nicest things, and Black women do deserve the world. They do deserve all of the nicest things, but all of the nicest things, like all across the board. But the Black luxury movement is like, you deserve the world, and then it's like, here's a bag, here's a vacation, here is a photo of cottage core and life looking easy when life isn't actually that way. And I think it's because it's
Can
easier
I
to
say one
acquire
thing?
stuff
Yeah.
than it is to.
I also just wanted to say that woman is speaking uh they're I'm assuming by the way. But their um point of POV is correct, but at the same exact time what they're talking about is also a symptom of social media and the internet in general. There is a thing where because everything is so fast paced, because a lot of the things are for clicks and views, they're going to sell you things that quote unquote look easy. Even the fact that like people are always on TikTok, for an example, there's always like, hobbies that become trends for a hot minute. Those hobbies take work and effort to master, to
Right.
perfect your craft, to do these specific things. And because of how social media is, they make it look easy. You only see a good 30 seconds out of like the 8 hours someone's drawing a realistic portrait. Like there's a whole bunch of things where it's like it's out of context and it's just there for you to be sold. So I do agree that these things aren't easy. By the same exact time, we are on social media, so they're going to quote unquote look easy. Only really wanted to touch on that real quick because they did bring up cottage core, and cottage core, like if you really was living like the cottage core lifestyle, you would be out here tending to the animals, out here waking up how much in the morning to go sit in your farm. Like you're living on a farm, you're
Right.
living in a rural area. So I just wanted to touch on that a little bit.
Right. I feel it. I definitely understand that as a streamer where all you see is just me in front of the camera 3 times a week, but you don't see all my lights, my tripod, my $1,000 camera, my $2,000 laptop, my capture card, all that stuff. But yeah, I feel you. Let's keep it going.
Take a deep look and be like, well, Black women deserve protections within their romantic relationship. So what are we going to do about that? Black women deserve to go to hospitals and not die while they're giving birth. So what are we going to do about that? Black women deserve to go to colleges and schools and not feel like they're being belittled, right? When they're actually very intelligent and they're ahead of their classmates, what are we going to do about that? And Black women deserve the world, and they do deserve luxury, but they deserve it in all aspects of their life and not only with physical things.
So you guys just heard that clip, and shout out to Hottie_Black for tagging me in this on Twitter. And let me first say that I understand what this woman is saying. I get where she's coming from. This commentary isn't meant to be an attack on her, and I don't want anyone to go harass this woman for what she said. And I agree with her. Black women absolutely deserve to go to hospitals and not disproportionately die from childbirth. Black women absolutely deserve to go to college and their intelligence not be undermined by their white equivalents. Black women absolutely deserve more protections in our romantic relationships. And we definitely deserve luxury outside of physical things. And being that every individual Black woman's definition of what luxury is will differ, I 100% think it's okay to strive for whatever that is to you or whatever that means to you. Not every woman's idea of luxury is money or an expensive bag or designer clothes or a nice vacation. Even my personal definition of luxury goes far beyond that. So listen, I 100% agree that we are allowed to define luxury in a way that feels good to us or in a way that's most important to us. Now, what I don't agree with, however, is attempting to redefine or expand the Black woman in luxury movement specifically beyond its original purpose and add race politics to it. And in this video, I'm going to explain to Black women why I just think that is not a good idea. And I also think it's off code. And I say it's off code because it doesn't help our image and it supports everything that we complain about. Now, first of all, adding in the fight against systemic oppression to this movement specifically defeats its purpose. I'm not sure who started the Black woman in luxury movement or...
What you got?
I'm gonna go preaching for a second.
All right.
Okay. Do Black people get it disproportionately the shittiest when it comes on to Mr. Popo and the criminal justice system? Yes.
Yep.
Is colorism a thing? Yes. Is there a gender divide? Yes. Is there a thing in which how we view femininity and masculinity affected by race? Yes. Is there a thing of the girlies being in poverty? Yes. Is there a lot of thing of you living through the struggle no matter who you is? Yes. Now, with that being said, do Black women deserve to exist? Yes. Do they need to sit here and have the burden of everything on their shoulders? No. Because at the end of the day, we're humans too. And to put all of that onto a specific demographic of people because they're quote unquote the most disrespected is shitty as fuck.
Yeah.
So do I believe that Black women deserve luxury in the sense of their existence being whole, their existence being supported, not discriminated against, and all of these things? Yes, because luxury is automatically associated with material, then saying luxury isn't the correct wording. And I don't like to tone police, but because we live in a capitalist society, and we're on social media, saying luxury isn't going to benefit anybody because it is a social media based movement. You're
Right.
not going to sit here and pass legislature talking about black women deserve luxury. You're not going to do that. It's not going to make any sense
Yeah.
because luxury isn't one to one with what we're talking about. Even when we talk about like defund the police, right? Defund the police still to some degree has a one to one with, okay, what we mean is taking money from the police and the military into social programs. There's a one to one, like there's a logical conclusion into that.
Right.
But there isn't really a logical conclusion into black women deserve luxury equals black women are allowed to exist in peace. That's not the same thing.
Yeah, I definitely
I
get
just
what you're
wanted to
saying.
say that. But yeah.
There's also the aspect of, at least from how I interpret it, she hasn't finished her statement yet, but it's giving respectability politics to me.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it is shitty to put the burden of all of the social ills on black women and black trans women just because they, are the least protected members of society and stuff. But at the same time, I feel like when you try to remove that from any type of movement, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's this thing I've been noticing lately with people who talk about like optics and stuff. The thing that confuses me is if it's supposed to be a movement like for black people, and I say this generally just in extrapolating to my experience with other people I've had interactions with lately. If the thing that you're concerned about is creating a movement for black people or black women, why would you be concerned about the optics to people outside of that group, right? Like,
Right.
if my goal is to create a safe space for black people, why the fuck would I why would I care about how that looks to white people? You know what I mean? But yeah, let's keep moving. Oops.
Popularized the phrase. If you guys know who that was, definitely put their name down in the comment section. But to my understanding, the purpose of Black Women Deserve Luxury is to give Black women permission to want more out of life and help us.
Yep.
One thing I also would wish is that we stop using vocabulary and we don't know where it's from.
Yeah, likewise.
Because while writing my essay and everything, I got a misogyny award from black women black women who are content creators on YouTube. So when they did their social commentary or media analysis, that's one of the words that they were using and they defined it there. But I didn't know deadass, there's a whole book. Like I didn't know there was a whole book until I had to research the shit. So I really wish we would just stop using vocabulary and we don't know where it's from. It's not necessarily
or at least cite sources.
Yeah, it's, and as I said, it's not like a go read theory nerd type thing. It's more so
what up, Leftist Al?
What that is.
Yeah.
In its fullest, and not necessarily you using it properly, because you can always use it properly and not know where it's come from.
Yeah.
But I guess it gives it more context of what it is and its utility, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's part of the reason why I move how I move is because I constantly, just because I have my background, I will constantly use words that are more or less academic in nature. And, my whole thing is if you can't explain things to a child, to a literal child, then it's not anything. You know what I mean?
True.
Because at the end of the day, that's who we're doing all this shit for, right? So, but yeah, I feel you.
Understand that we deserve more than what society has conditioned us to believe. We don't have to stay at the lowly or bottom position that society has placed us in. And I always saw it as creating a space where Black women could get away from the struggle.
And just really quick, because I thought about that too, and I didn't really have I wasn't able to adequately, form this thought. And Al might have some insight on this, but I recently saw a thing about people like non-binary people who don't even want to identify as non-binary because you are essentially establishing your identity in negativa, right? You're describing yourself as what you are not, which is like not really constructive, as well as kind of creating its own binary between binary and non-binary, right? But also with here, when you say like black women deserve luxury, and especially when you're talking about creating a space away from the space that is typically reserved for black women, what that sounds like, and the intention is noble, is obviously the things that we're talking about. Black women deserve nice things, black women deserve to be protected. But what I hear is, I don't want to challenge the system that has placed us in this condition in the first place. We simply want to create another system where we're at the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to be clear, to be 100% clear, and am I shitting on my own? Yes, but they deserve to be shit on. There's a lot of fucking black people who are transphobic as fuck. And when I
Oh
say
yeah,
that, I don't mean like, this is the thing that aggravates me. These type of people, regardless of like their identity, cannot be saved, in my opinion. They're the, well, I have a trans best friend and I will fight for trans people. I love trans people. I think trans people are really beautiful people, but you were born a man. Why are you out here? That's the energy.
right.
That's the energy. This really the it is it is a true statement. I'ma hide under my transphobia type energy. That's why I don't fuck with those type of people. And a lot of times people who run these channels are, and like you have to be worried about that, because there was a girl, I'm not gonna at her because I don't want her to get hate, you don't know shit,
I feel.
but there's a girlie,
Yeah, you're right, Al. I
and I
feel you.
said this to you and Joe's server, where that was the energy she was going on. And the worst thing was, because it was a black trans woman um content creator that she was going over, it made it 100% even worse. So like that type of transphobe, in my opinion, cannot be saved, because they stuck in their waves at that point. They really don't
Yeah,
give a fuck. So I just want to say that. Oh, let me articulate myself well. The
I feel it.
transphobia is covert because they hide it behind it is a factual statement. They're the type of transphobe that say, well, you are biologically male, so
Right.
why X, Y, and Z. I just wanted to articulate myself
Exactly.
better. But basically that.
I feel it. I feel it. Um, I don't know if I can, if I'm, I feel like those people should probably, like, I'm with you in that they should probably be removed from most conversations, but I have a hard time. I'm torn on that shit. You know what I mean? Because I literally just pulled someone up for I don't want to use the word canceling, but like essentially being like um with the Professor Flower shit, being like, this person believes in white genocide, therefore nothing else that they have to say is of any value. You know what I mean? I'm reluctant to do that, uh even if it's for like a valid reason, right? Like transphobia, like blatant transphobia.
Yeah.
But at the same time, those people should definitely be handled a certain way. And
Yeah.
Um, it's one of those, you can only do so much, and the best way to attack it is personally. So for me, I'll give you the perfect example.
absolutely,
Um,
Al.
there was a drag queen. Her name is Nina Bonina Brown, and she like commented on a um non-binary drag queen named Got Mick Got Mick Got Mick, I believe it's Got Mick, right? And they were like really Got Mick is female to male, um when it comes to like physical translation. And what happened is that Nina Modena Brown commented and was like commented on Gomik's figure and was like, well, Gomik can easily do a female physique basically, right? The
Mhm.
female illusion, right?
Yikes.
And got a lot of shit for it. And for me, as a viewer, because I really was like standing Nina Brown, I didn't like how the situation was handled because Nina makes her beliefs very known and always talks about her beliefs and is very like anti cancel culture. So like the fact that there were people who like knew her or knew people who know her and was like dragging her online didn't make any sense to me, because it's like, why wouldn't you ask to talk to this person if they already is like quote unquote like so anti cancel culture? Like there's a certain a degree of like, you have to know how to navigate around people, and I feel like a lot of people don't know how to do that,
Right.
and that's why a lot of people are just running around bigots because people don't know how to talk to people. That's just
Uh,
how I feel about it.
I hear you 1000%. You've people that have seen my Twitter, you know exactly what I'm talking about with that. Um, especially when it comes to us, like black people, they just don't know. People just don't know how to talk to us, and it's kind of wild. Um, but yeah, like I said, I one of the things that I've been doing that I have caught myself doing lately, I guess specifically with this one person that I'm not gonna name, but you probably can guess who it is. But it's just that the constant criticism of like, what I don't get is why you would criticize people who move in survival mode, right? Like, we understand that blackness is a condition, and things that are black in terms of like black culture and things that we do are tools that we use for survival, especially when it comes to things like activism and social movements and such, right?
Right.
So knowing that, first of all, if you aren't black, I don't know why you would be examining these things to critique in the first place instead of just staying in your lane. But even if you were going to do that, I feel like there's definitely a way to handle that that doesn't play into certain ideas and attitudes that are white supremacist in nature, full stop, straight up and down. Um, and it gets weird when I see people constantly doing that shit as if that makes them, it's giving radical centrist vibes. Like they're smarter than everyone, they're above everything because they know how to critique both sides or whatever, even though one side has all the power, makes all the rules, and commits all of the worst crimes imaginable, and the other side is literally just trying to live. and
Literally.
and to examine one and be like, nah, you're not doing survival properly. But trust me, a person that has not had to suffer to the same extent that you have, I definitely know better than you how to move in your situation. You know what I mean? It's that the debate brain shit that I talk about, where motherfuckers think that um knowledge trumps experience always at all times. So like, if you just know enough, then you could potentially be smarter than a person living in a certain set of conditions, and therefore you would know better for them how they should move than they would know, because you have some ethereal and ephemeral level of understanding that they lack for whatever reason. And that in and of itself is straight up white supremacy, white savior shit, but people don't want to examine that. But
Yeah. I think the thing that I wish people would do the most is ask themselves, am I saying or doing this to make myself feel better or for other people to
yes,
feel better?
ma'am.
I
Yes,
just
ma'am.
wish people to like think about that for a second, because a lot of the times I say stuff and I say stuff and I shit on people. A lot of the times I say these things because I feel like nobody's saying it, or I
Right.
feel like it's not getting enough attention
Right.
because it's a real point of contention and criticism. For me, I am, still a youngin I don't have a big platform or anything. So when I shit on people who have like a bigger platform and everything, it's like, no, like literally do better. That's it.
Right.
So for
But you'll
me,
get accused of clout chasing or whatever, that you just want to be famous or whatever, which is projection because that's what everybody else is trying to do, is just get Twitch famous or whatever.
it I don't even like the clout chasing uh argument, because by default you interacting with people is clout chasing. Like
Facts.
that's everybody networking.
Facts.
That's clout chasing. So,
Right. That's
but
literally how this
regardless,
shit works.
I just washed my hair.
But yeah, that's that's why I do what I do. I've my catchphrase on this shit is focus on the mission, right? If I want black liberation, I'm constantly thinking of how is this going to either further that cause or elevate me so that I can loudspeaker that cause even greater, right? And I wouldn't be living my principles if I didn't, have these conversations with you and give you a platform and talk to people like Katarana and Prisma and stuff and uplift the people that I say that I care about, instead of just trying to constantly shit on everyone and critique everyone and act like I'm the smartest person in the room all day.
Yeah, and I think the last thing that like I just want to like clarify is that what I wish people would stop doing is
What up,
saying
PJ?
that because you are a person who is in like a black radical ideology that you're just being selfish. Because
Right.
a lot of like people don't understand the complexities of white supremacy, and I always say this, but it's like I'm pretty sure that by default, if you would like um um in my opinion, um black liberation, you would kind of by default want gender abolition. You would
Yeah,
want this like
those things are the same.
it's no difference. It's no, oh, we only want black people to X, Y, and Z. Like people say shit like that in order to cause division within the movement.
Right. That's why
So
I'm down with the anarchata shit, because it's like you can't say if you want black liberation, that means liberation for all black people. So you can't be anti-racist and not be anti-capitalist. You can't call yourself for black liberation and not want things like gender abolition, prison abolition, all these things that directly affect all different types of black people. Because that was the other thing that I was trying to get at too, is that like black is a condition that intersects with everything. There's black trans people, there's black non-binary people, there's black children, there's black like it, and there's even like black and other ethnicities. Like shout out to Honey, she's Afro Latina, like, you know what I mean? There's all kinds of different admixtures, and pointing out just black and acting like blackness is separate from everything else is legit some European white supremacist shit.
yeah, 100%. But yeah, back to the video that I'm
Oh
making out
yeah,
to
right.
say
Yeah,
that
we went on. Yeah, Honey streaming right now.
and
Hey,
escape the race politics and the social justice warring for a while, and not only enjoy life and luxurious items and experiences, but be associated with them as well, instead of for the most part being associated with pain and the struggle, because that
that right there. I'm just gonna be quick. I'm gonna restart the video, but it's giving the normal poverty shame that a lot of black people have and don't address within themselves. But
is overwhelmingly our image in this country. And I will say that the black women in luxury is also escapism. It's a way of life for some black women, but also a form of aspiration and escapism for others. But I never took it as something.
Just a little tiny thing. I don't like this because if I had to give one advice to everybody who has electronics and who is on social media, is to surround yourself with positivity and people who look like you.
facts.
So I don't necessarily agree with black women in luxury on that specific point if she's the person who's like, the monolith and the one who's like speaking for the people, whatever. I don't believe in that point, because for me, I like quote unquote like alternative fashion, whatever the case may be, right? Whatever you define that is. So for me, I have black women or black femme people as all over my feed. And there's only like, I believe there's only one white girl that I religiously follow. Everybody else is black people. And it's not no like racist shit, because I know a lot of people be like, "Oh, that's so racist." It's like, no, you want to have representation for yourself.
Right.
And for me, because femininity is different for me as a black woman compared to like a black not black to a white woman, I can't meet that standard by default. So why the fuck am I looking at that standard? Like, you're just fueling your insecurities at that point. I already have
Facts.
to figure out what my my version of femininity is. Why am I looking at traditional? I'm vulnerable. I'm traditionally femme. All this other shit that's like catering to white supremacy. Why do I have to look at that on a day to day? I don't. It's optional. It's what's being sold to you. So you have to be very careful of what you consume media wise, and making sure your art, like, how do I say this? You don't have to analyze everything, but you have to take a step back and be like, is this affecting me mentally? And I
Facts.
just wanted to say that because if I was a girly and I'm over here having black woman and luxury all over my feed, I would be like, damn, I am broke.
Yeah.
So you might want to evaluate that a little bit. Just wanted to say that. But yeah.
That black women should, or we're trying to indulge in, to the point where we just forget or ignore that we also deserve more equality and basic human rights in this country and all over the world. I never took the movement as being that. And one argument I kept seeing from black women under this post is that because of racism, white supremacy, and our socioeconomic position in this country, they feel that black women don't have the privilege or the space to enjoy or fantasize about luxury.
Low key.
Basically, they're saying, oh, well, I know this is about escapism, but black women, we ain't got time for all that. We got better things to worry about. We got bigger fish to fry. And I'm sorry, but I have a problem with that. Everybody has more important issues they can focus on and bigger things to worry about. And they're still allowed their escapism. They're still allowed their spaces for simply fun and enjoyment without all the heavy stuff. And there was one tweet from a black woman that...
your escapism shouldn't be attached to material goods.
Yeah, like that's what I was just about to say. Is like I agree with that 1000%, but it's like I don't think your escapism or the ideal you ascribe to should be literally just to be the peak of the same exact system that's oppressing you. And I think that's what gets lost here with this author. And the thing that they're critiquing is that the reason why people are saying that y'all don't have time for this shit. I'm not a black woman. The reason why this person is saying you don't have time for this shit is because they're saying essentially the same thing I say. Get your head in the game. You know what I mean? Like, white supremacy is like all the stuff that you want. It's white supremacy that's keeping you from it. And while we still live under the system, we're never going to be able to get to those things. And because, like you're saying, because they've tied the idea of luxury in with material gain and, you know, capitalist excess, they can't divorce that, like, they're trying hard to divorce those two ideas. So they think that white supremacy is something separate from poverty, right? Like, it's more respectability politics, more liberalism bullshit, like just straight up hustle mind grinds that shit with extra steps, right? You're not poor, your conditions aren't shitty because of white supremacy. Your conditions are shitty because you have a poor imagination. Like, that's what I read from this, and why I have a problem with it.
I also want to mention that there is a big thing with these black femininity YouTubers, that they are the type of how do I say this? They're into like marrying into wealth, which isn't an inherently bad thing, but like at the same exact time, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, how do I explain this? Is there validity in critiquing black men? Yes. But at the same exact time, having the stance that we don't want no broke nigga, we only want rich niggas, is really weird, in the sense of like, black men are less than because of the way that they treat me, thus that I have to marry a rich white man in order for my value to be like noticed, which like I understand the sentiment because like I personally don't have like a lot of black men like longing for me, but at the same exact time the emphasis on wealth is alarming to me, because just because someone has wealth doesn't mean they're a good person. Also, just
Right.
because you have wealth don't mean you're going to be happy.
Right.
So you're like ascribing all of the, you know, negative characteristics with being poor, while not realizing that black women who are in these high statuses still get called misogynoir stereotypes and
Mm-hmm.
slurs and all of these characteristics regardless. You feel me? We said this before on the other stream, but I just wanted to say that because it's just really weird to like,
Yeah.
I guess, see that thought
Right.
and then like have people like heavily die on the hill. Now, don't get me wrong, I can't hang with no broke nigga, and that's across all races. But you gotta have a job.
I feel
But
it.
like at the same exact time, like, you know, people be saying shit like that for different reasons. Like people
I
be
was
saying shit
just
like
about to
that.
say, like, it makes me think of, I know the consequences are different and the motivation for saying it is different. Thank you for sharing. The consequences of it are different and the motivation for saying it is different, but it reminds me of like how Kevin Samuels talks about high value men and like that whole obsession with, you know, basically just men who have a lot of capital at their disposal, and therefore they should be able to move and do as they please. Hey, what's up, Sherry? Sorry, but it's basically kind of like that, where it's not an examination of the social conditions and the systems in place that create those conditions. It's just black women also deserve to have lots of excess capital at their disposal and be able to move and do as they please, right?
Yeah, and like, and this is the thing that's like aggravating, right? So if we really were taking the big environmentalist, like humanitarian, like you have to be pure in your beliefs and everything, black women contribute to capitalism so bad when it comes on to like fem like femininity, like black
Yeah.
femininity. Like, girly, all of the times we sit here and wear the acrylics and gel is bad for the environment. It's so sad to say, but them long ass nails is bad for an environment. Cause I literally found that out and I was finna cry. Like, girl,
Yeah.
like how
There's
all of the weaves and wigs we be buying and that shit coming off somebody else's head and they're like forced to take it off in order to get some money because like poverty. Like a
right.
lot of the shit like we be like dwelling in. So it's like really weird for us to be like, well, money, and it's like, well, you kind of like spent like $400 on a wig.
Yeah, and that's another aspect, is that like a lot of the stuff that we consider to be luxurious is just straight up not sustainable, no matter who does it.
Right.
Let's keep it
Oh,
going.
called
Showed
out
a
the
video.
girls, but I would wear a wig. I'm just saying, like, you know, you complaining about money, but you spending the money. You feel me? Like you
Yeah.
gotta balance it out.
Prioritize, yeah.
Also, you don't need a man to spoil you, which
Right.
is what the energy is given, and it's really weird. Just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I got you.
Of a black woman on vacation. And I guess during that vacation, she experienced racist microaggressions. And her caption was, well, when can we have peace without pretending that we have peace? And another woman said, well, is it really luxury if we have no safety or security to go with it? And look,
Hello.
ladies, I understand that black women have unique concerns. We have to worry about racial profiling while shopping or racism when traveling. But every woman, regardless of race, has to worry about safety and security. No
I
woman
can't
has the
do this.
luxury of not fearing getting.
I can't do the whataboutism there. Like it's you have to have a certain level of horse blinders on to not understand that the women most likely to get snatched up in like human trafficking and shit is black and Latino women. It's dark skinned women who get
Right.
snatched up for fucking have their organs snatched, human trafficking, all that shit. Like I like you have to be kind of there has to be a certain amount of horse blinders on. I can't even say that you have to have your head in the sand and act like it's something that you would have to like be aware of through media. Like you could just look around your own neighborhoods and stuff and know that like, yeah, they snatch up black women all the time. Like, I don't know.
Look, listen. Should I call it the girls? I'm gonna call it the girls. Okay. Listen. Am I gonna talk shit? Yes, I'm gonna talk shit. I need people to stop with the like privilege energy, because personally, all of what she's saying feels like pure privilege.
Yeah.
Like you get to, you know, think about if you're gonna date a white man or a black man or not. Like you out here like talking about rich people. Like you out like you got a dating pool that's like 100 people already. Like that's the energy. Like you're
Right.
giving, I have the time to sit here and make YouTube videos all the time. You're giving, you know, I've been on these vacations before and black women deserve this because I experienced. Like that's what it's giving. It's giving a lot of privilege, and I'm not riding with it
Yeah.
whatsoever.
I can't do that.
Because it's
Yeah.
like it's predatory. A lot of these black femininity channels are predatory as fuck. Because at the end of the day,
It's
you know what
grifting.
they say? They it's not grifting. You know what it is? Well, thank you for watching my video. You can subscribe and have a femininity course online for $50 that you guys can take.
Oh yeah,
back
that's what I'm
with
saying. Yeah, that's that's the
They do that.
grift. Yeah, that's the
They
grift.
100% do that, and they do like the dating thing of, well, black men and white men don't want this, so you should act like. That's what they do.
It's real
At the
race
end of the
hustler
video.
shit. It's like that person I pulled up who I'm guessing has, you know, made their entire brand off of being the token emotional support colored in a certain person's community, right? So
We talked about the transparent one.
yeah. So, you know, you want to insert yourself into conversations about black issues, right? And you're used to doing that with no other black people on some Uncle Ruckus shit. So you got to constantly criticize other more radical black people around you to make yourself more palatable to that person's white audience. It's weird. It's real fucking weird. And then on top of that, once you get to a certain level, you get to what you're talking about, where you're just straight up grifting, where you're like, yeah, listen to me talk about black issues, subscribe to my Patreon, or, you know, subscribe to my YouTube channel, whatever. Meanwhile, you're not doing shit for the neighborhood you live in. You're not contributing shit to the trenches, but you get to look smart and be the token black. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it going.
Kidnapped or something bad happening to her on vacation. Non-black women come up missing on cruise ships all the time, but they're still allowed to have their spaces to indulge in luxury or escapism without explicitly making tragedy a part of that particular space. They put out the travel warnings and safety precautions and keep it moving. If a situation arises that pertains to safety and security, they'll address it in that moment and move on. They don't feel the need to police or completely change or alter that space or intellectualize it because it doesn't specifically focus on safety and security. What I really need black women to understand is that you don't have to fight for everything.
What's that?
She's talking about people living in ignorance.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
just talking about people living in ignorance because
Just completely clueless.
Yeah, like you don't know what's gonna go on, so you're just talking about vibing or whatever. Because not everybody has the information and like the statistics and shit.
It reminds me of, because I used to have this attitude about the area I grew up in and the adjacent area, like Carroll County and shit, and like a lot of the sundown shit that used to go on there, and it's fucking horrifying to me, and it makes me understand why my parents used to go so crazy. Because in the moment when I was a kid and I was surrounded by other white people, and for the most part, all my friends were white, it was bad stuff happens to everybody. Why should I be worried just because I'm black? Just completely oblivious. And now there's so many situations that I put myself in, or that I was in, that I wasn't cognizant of, that it's just like, holy shit, even though I already lived through it and survived it, obviously, it still makes my butthole pucker because I actually have the context for it now, and I'm like, holy shit, how did I not see that? You know what I mean? What up, Tommy?
Yeah, I have the same thing when it comes on to dudes. I used to go over my next door neighbor house, and it was like him and like like 4 or 5 other dudes, and my mom would be like, "You can't go over there because you're the only girl." And then like shit happened, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" Like she's like 100% right. Like fuck, it's just so fucking weird living in ignorance, bro.
Yeah, but I'm gonna keep it going.
All at the same time. Okay? It is perfectly fine to have different movements or different spaces for different purposes. It is very true that Black women are unprotected and need more safety and security in all facets of life. There's no denying that. And technically, if you're intellectualizing the term, you can say it's not quote unquote luxury if there's not enough safety and security for Black women overall. But then it's really not luxury, quote unquote luxury, for any woman if we're going by that logic, because who's really safe around here? Are some women safer than Black women? Yes, but they aren't actually safe either. So if they don't have to adhere to the pure essence of the term, neither do we, Black women. We don't have to remove the word quote unquote luxury or define the movement as something else because life isn't perfect.
So it's literally because I felt uncomfortable saying this because, this isn't really my lane, but that statement right there kind of confirmed it for me. Like, you know how Black men low key just want to be white men?
Mm-hmm.
So like this is giving, why can't I have fun like the white women? Right? Because like she said,
exactly.
White women are not fucking safe either, straight up and down. But they know that they exist in their whiteness, and therefore that gives them a certain degree of coverage against certain things, especially when we're talking about people of color, like Black and Indigenous people of color. So what I'm hearing here is, why can't, worst case scenario, or excuse me, best case scenario, it's why can't I be as clueless as the white women? And worst case scenario is, why can't I be as fucking aggressive and and you know what I mean, as the white woman? It's just that's what I'm hearing. I don't know if I'm out of line saying that, but
no, you're right. It's I want to be valued the same as white woman. Why am I not valued the same as white?
I want the same level of privilege.
Yeah.
And a couple examples that are consistently made during this conversation is, well, Serena Williams and Beyonce almost died during childbirth. So that's proof that Black women in luxury can't escape systemic oppression.
It is.
And this is similar to when my Black feminist detractors used Michelle Obama to make the point that her being a traditional feminine Black woman didn't stop her from experiencing racism. And Black women, facts. I get it. No matter how.
And hold up, and because I remember, there's still people. It's common as shit to see, and we know what types of people it is. People refer to Michelle Obama as a man, right? That she's secretly just a man. She has a dick and all this other crazy shit because of how Black bodies are coded. But anyway.
You are, no matter how many luxury items you have or how many luxury vacations you can go on, you still Black and you will still experience racism. We know that already. But what I find to be very disingenuous about this argument is that these feminists are reducing these Black women like Serena, like Beyonce, and Michelle Obama. They're reducing their life experiences down to the racist treatment that they receive from white people. Because
I saw, shout out to Boy Meets Minnie, because he got into an argument with someone that came at me because they called me racist the other day. And I don't understand why, when people are clearly speaking from privilege or the desire for privilege, and you call them out on it, why they then tell you that you're essentializing people, you're reducing them to their skin color or how the world interacts with them because of their skin color. And it's like, no, dummy, I'm speaking on experience that you either have or ignore, right?
Right.
Where it's like, I'm not the one essentializing here. It's you, because you're trying to essentialize the experience of white supremacy and how the world treats you based on your skin color down to something that you could just sidestep and ignore whenever it's inconvenient for you, either because you have that privilege or you want that privilege.
Exactly.
As if class or their socioeconomic status or even their femininity or, you know, them presenting in a feminine way doesn't also benefit them as well. If they were not Serena or Beyonce, they very well may have died after childbirth. Like the thousands of other unnamed black women who died during childbirth from preventable causes who are not rich and famous. If Michelle Obama didn't come from a privileged background, she most likely would not have made it in the White House. Let's not pretend that these women don't benefit whatsoever.
Okay, let's touch on.
I thought you would have a problem with that.
So, and I just like read like a whole history.com article because history.com be a little brief and kind of cute.
Yeah.
On a run. But so I'm like, okay, you know, researching and everything, you know, do the do's. And talking about Mr. Founder of Gynecology. Can we like talk about how like
James Marion Sims?
Yeah.
Boy, don't even get me started on him.
Are we like not gonna talk about like there's still like this myth of like black people don't feel pain and like how like science kind of based around that a little bit, like little kind of like sort of because like if that's the case, right? Say that's the case and that's still like perpetuated during science, but I'm pretty sure it's true. If you're a black woman, regardless of your like your economic status, bitch, they still gonna assume the shit like the
fuck, yeah,
like, that's what science is based around.
That's
like,
still in. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's still in like medical textbooks. They genuinely believe that black people just have higher pain tolerances and also are more likely to have like opioid addictions. So therefore, you just shouldn't give us painkillers because we can eat the shit, and even if we can't eat the shit, we're just lying so we can get more painkillers.
No, but like the only reason why I said that is because like childbirth is painful. So if these public figures who are black women have a child, it's probably going to automatically still be assumed regardless of their economic status because it's not about their economic status.
Right.
That's not what you don't go to like there's certain things where it's like, okay, you know, the doctor will give to you because you can afford it, of course, but that's not an affordability topic.
Right.
Like, that's not what it's about. So I don't know, that would just really cringe.
Yeah, I agree.
Ever from their status. Not to mention that when they are enjoying the luxuries they have access to, I'm quite sure they aren't always thinking about racism, white supremacy, or actively trying to fight against it. And I think that's something we should also consider, black women. We don't always have negative experiences when we are enjoying luxury. I've enjoyed many luxurious experiences and had peace while doing them. I'm a very black woman, and I just went on vacation and very much had peace and enjoyment. I enjoyed my vacation, and systemic oppression was still there.
Right.
I don't know. It just be so weird. These people be toweling on themselves. Like, just stop talking. Like, you snitching on yourself.
Right. Yo, that's my whole Twitter. Like, why are you self-reporting right now? You could literally just not self-report. You could just stop. But I guess you really this is the meta. I don't know what meta you're on, but some kind of meta.
Racism still exists, and I got treated with respect by the non-black people I encountered, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Now, does that always happen? Am I prepared for micro?
I was also gonna say that when it comes to depending on, and I say this as a former hotel worker, is the people that you're going to interact with are probably people in a similar economic class to you. So the extent of how they could aggress against you is going to be inconsequential a lot of time anyway, right? Because sure, there's like microaggressions and shit from, you know, people, the way people look at you, or they might say some shit that's off color or whatever. But like, literally, just like you were saying, it's self-report vibes. If you're clocking a few $1,000s a month or whatever, you're balling, and you go to a hotel, and the Latino person that does housekeeping there says some wild shit about you under their breath or whatever. Who gives a fuck? Because they're cleaning sheets at a hotel, and you're going on $1,000 vacations, right?
Right.
So there's that aspect, and yeah, I don't know.
This also like is um a good way to like support like what we said before, right? About vocabulary and like its usage. One thing that I had to realize is that microaggressions is useful, right? To know what it is
Right.
if you're constantly around that person. If you're just out here on the street and you get a microaggression, who gives a fuck? You can just continue walking.
Exactly.
Like dead ass. Like unless you're in like physical harm, then of course like,
That's not
that's
really a
really like
microaggression at that point. That's just straight up aggression.
right, like like people be using shit and then like don't realize, and like I had to like personally like be
Right.
like holy shit, like
Yeah.
you feel me?
Yeah. You're absolutely correct. Microaggressions really useful just for like the workplace and, romantic relationships and shit. It's the kind of stuff that you can really only it's really only important over time. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Aggressions or racism to happen during my enjoyment of luxury? Absolutely. And is it fair for me to have to consider those things instead of simply being comfortable? No. But I don't feel the need to politicize the black girl luxury movement or add to it because of that. There's other movements to address those kind of things when or if something racist goes down. And if a racist situation arises during a time where a black woman is enjoying luxury, then we can deal with it in that moment. But there's
This Lil Wayne shit to me. It's like, nah, I don't speak on black issues. I'm different. It's Raven Simone vibes. I'm not African American. I'm just American vibes.
That's cringe
no
as fuck.
reason to alter the luxury movement because of that possibility. You don't have to combine everything into one single movement, black women. It's completely unnecessary. When showcasing or discussing luxury, most people aren't including human rights or systemic oppression. Doesn't mean it's not there, but they just aren't including it in that movement. When it's
question.
about luxury, it's usually
If I had to talk to this person, all I would ask is, are black trans women? Question mark. Are trans women? Question mark. Because
Right.
Mr. Safe Space is looking at you a little sus because people have different ideas what safe spaces are.
Right.
And especially people like to be discriminatory just to be discriminatory. Mr.
Trans rights, absolutely.
True, trans rights, true. But yeah, cause I don't know, it's giving really sussy energy by
Yeah,
default.
I
So
feel it because it reeks of capitalism. So
yeah, probably
material items.
probably a moderate.
I honestly, low key, actually, you're probably right. They probably vote Democrat. I was gonna say though, men like this, like black men like this, vote Republican though, for whatever weird ass reason. Like the quote unquote high value men, like 50 Cent voted for Trump.
Ew, gross. The fuck?
Yeah. At least I believe so. And I know Ice Cube is trying to talk to Trump and some shit, and it wasn't a good look, and he kind of explained why he did it, and I kind of get it, but it's still from a place of I made a shitload of money in this system, and I like all the shit that I have in this system, so I don't want to change it. But instead of challenging the system, how do I get more people to just be on my level, not understanding that your level exists because the bottom exists?
True.
I appreciate you, Freckle.
it's scenery, from vacation, it's escapism and pretty pictures. That's it. And what I find with Black women is that we want to add a million different meanings to a thing
so I have a
to
question.
the point it loses its original purpose. And that is a problem, ladies. And this is
supposed
very
to be
similar to
like
how a lot of Black women
Black girl
responded to the
magic
femininity
type
movement
energy?
and completely misrepresented me and other Black femininity influencers and our purpose.
I appreciate you,
All of a
Sherry.
sudden, femininity can't be defined. None of it's real. It's all performative, and therefore it's useless. Or because it's not destroying oppressive systems, Black women shouldn't participate in it or enjoy it. We have to make every movement for Black women.
What happened?
She just snitched on herself. Oh my god. GG, boys. GG, boys. Gender is performative. What the fuck?
Gender is literally performance. Like,
she just said gender isn't performance. Like, he just
oh
told
wow,
her.
yeah, that's a self-report. That was a fucking
Told
self-report.
her herself. GG.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's kind of crazy.
G.
Yikes. So we already know what her answer to trans women would be.
Right.
All inclusive to the point it loses its motive. We have to make the definition of every word so fluid that it loses all of its meaning. It doesn't mean anything anymore. But we allow non-Black women to have their meanings, right? Or images of luxury, or spaces to escape. We allow them to embrace traditional femininity. But when it comes to you don't allow
far in the video. I never got this far in the video, but they literally say that when they mean, like, when we say trans women are women, that's literally what they say. They say, well, you're messing up the definition of what it means to be a woman now.
Right. Yeah.
Definition because everyone can be. They literally pulling an RGR, LMAO. Like,
that shit's crazy.
I'm sorry. I think this shit is so fucking funny.
It's funny, but it's at the same. It's like hella sad because it's like, I don't know. It's like when I see fucking Black men doing the high value fucking the Kevin Samuels shit. It's just hella sad because, they would be happier. Like, it's not even just about everyone else, but just like they themselves will be happier. Because there's a level of cognitive dissonance that you have to fucking push through. You know what I mean? This person is just straight up pretending like they don't experience white supremacy. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, that's gotta hurt. You can only not confront that for so long. Big AIDS, what's up?
Yeah, it's giving really big self-hate vibes.
Yeah.
Yourself or other Black women to have that. And yes, Black women, outside of systemic oppression, this is part of why we can't have nice things. And something else I saw repeatedly.
I knew it. It was going to be on my bingo card. Didn't I call that? It's like, hey, it's actually your fault that you're broke and that you can't experience luxury because it exists and you can get it. It's not white supremacy's fault. It's just because you have a poor imagination. That's why you can't have luxury. I called that shit.
I feel it.
This post were a lot of the anti-capitalist feminists. And they were talking about, oh, well, this movement is not really luxury, it's consumerism, and it's the And I am so tired of this argument. If you've been listening for a while, you know that I've had to address the same talking points to the Black feminists several times who said the same thing about the Black femininity movement. And it's a very weak anti-Black argument because to say that Black women enjoying luxury or the aspiration of luxury is quote unquote white, it implies that the antithesis of that is Black, or that only white women are allowed in that space.
Oh my
and
God.
Look,
see, she's doing the thing. She's doing the thing.
Aesthetic being very Eurocentric with the European design.
She's doing the thing.
It's the I'm gonna do an ounce of truth so I can support my lives type energy. Like,
fam, she's doing the thing. When you say, hey, if you're basing your ideal of luxury on having excess capital, that's European. And you're like, well, so you're saying that only white women can have luxury? Damn, sounds kind of racist, sweaty. Like, holy fuck, dog. This shit hurts so much.
So she don't believe that. So wait, hold on. Don't spread that back. Wait, so she doesn't believe that.
I'm gonna run it back. Yeah, I'm gonna run it back because
like the people who are anti-capitalist are saying it's consumerist, but she's saying that's anti-black for saying it's consumerist because it's attributing to white supremacy? Question mark. What?
Yeah, she's saying that being anti-capitalist, or rather, she's not understanding the anti-capitalist argument that capitalism is anti-black, because she spent the whole first half of the video trying to separate capitalism from white supremacy, right?
Right.
So she's saying that if you critique what she sees as a luxury movement as basically just promoting capitalism in that manner, because she doesn't understand that capitalism is anti-black, what she hears is, oh, so you think only white women can really have luxury?
But wait, no, but that proves our point, right?
Right, exactly. It's another self-report.
At the beginning, she says that luxury has an inconsistent meaning because it is supposed to be an individualized movement, correct?
Right.
But our assumption, because of the use of luxury, is that that it's going to be associated with material goods, right? But you're like, how are you saying that's not the right definition? But when you're critiquing people who are anti like capitalists, that's the definition you're using.
Right. I'm gonna run it back.
And they were talking about, oh, well, this movement is not really luxury. It's consumerism and it's the aspiration of white womanhood. And I am so tired of this argument. If you've been listening to me for a while.
Yo, did I not say that like 5 minutes ago?
You know that I've had to address these same talking points to the black feminists several times who said the same thing about the black femininity movement. And it's a very weak anti-black argument, because to say that black women enjoying luxury or the aspiration of luxury is quote unquote white, it implies that the antithesis of that is black, or that only white women are allowed in that space. And look, I'll concede to some of the black girl luxury movement aesthetic being very Eurocentric with the European designer items, some of the hairstyles, you know, the weave, the European looking weave. And we can also acknowledge the white supremacist foundation of what we consider to be the finer things today. I'm not going to ignore the history and deny any of that. But the quote-unquote look of luxury as we know it today...
That's what I'm saying, dog. This is such a major self-report. You can only believe shit like this if you're like a landlord or something like that. I'm sorry, dude. Like, this is kind of crazy.
Such double side, like, I don't want to, like, offend anyone, but, like, that's what it's giving, like... I'm gonna cry, bro.
It's like it's literally, no? She's literally like, okay, so I understand that all these expensive designers are European. The beauty standards that we're subscribing to when we do things like get weave and stuff like that is European beauty standards. And the whole reason we even want the shit in the first place is because white people have dangled it over our heads and told us that we can't have it for the last like 600 years. But I have it and I like it, so stop making me feel guilty about it.
That is what it's giving. It's giving. No, okay. Genuine question. Do you feel less of a woman because you are constantly comparing yourself to a white woman? Like, is that what it's giving? Like, do you not feel like you're a woman enough? Because all I'm hearing is, but I want to be like white girls. Like, I want to be like white girls. I feel like less of a woman because I'm not a white girl. That's what it's giving.
Low key. I can't really speak on that, but
like, it's not even low key no more.
He says, "Not it's low key, high key now." All right, let's keep it pushing.
It's still not exclusive to white women. They don't own that. And it is important as
they literally do
send out the message that they are the only ones entitled to that. And I'll also acknowledge that the racial economic inequality that exists in this country, it won't allow most black women to have access to luxury, but most white women and people in general don't have access to it either, regardless of race. Most people in this country are not living in luxury, but you know what? They are still allowed to be showcased enjoying it. And again, even black women allow them that. The Kardashians, the Jenners, etc. Black women allow those women to enjoy their image.
I was going to say, not a single one of them women was black.
Even if it's a fantasy for most white women to be in their position, even if it's something that most of them cannot attain. So how?
So wait a minute, she just self-reported right there too. Because their Kardashians are definitely not fucking black. Like,
True. Kardashians isn't black. True.
wow.
Black women look supporting the Kardashians, supporting the Jenners, while denying your fellow black woman the imagery or the pursuit of luxury. Black
Wait,
women
hold
are the
on.
only ones that aren't allowed
I'm gonna
to
need to run that back too, because that confused me right there.
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Okay, wait. Okay.
How foolish
To
do black
respectfully shit on black men. To respectfully shit on black men for
Talk your
hot men.
shit.
Okay. Are we not going to act like men in general run the market?
Oh yeah,
Because the reason why the Jenners are so famous is because A, they get to hide behind black men.
facts.
B, they get to, use and abuse the culture.
Yep.
And then 3, because they are women, because of sex appeal, they get to profit and sell off of those things.
Yep.
So men support that market. They're the consumers. And black men were one of the girlies who were consuming that. Thus, the beauty standards start to sway towards what men consider to be desirable.
Right.
So what the
What up,
fuck
Fade?
is this lady talking about? Well, we were hyping up the Jenners. No, the fuck we was not. The fuck is you on about? Like, no, we was not hyping up no fucking Jenners. We were falling behind black men.
Right.
Because that was what, the standard of beauty changed to. I just had to say that because let's not lie on the girls. Let's not lie on the girls.
Yeah, I feel it. Let me, because I was confused by the statement because she moved real quick with that. So I'm gonna try and hold. Let me see if I understand what she said right here.
women look supporting the Kardashians, supporting the Jenners, while denying your fellow black woman the imagery or the pursuit of luxury. Black women are the only ones that aren't allowed to do that and don't allow ourselves to participate in the promotion of luxury or enjoy escapism even. Nobody is saying that black women should completely lose themselves in the idea of luxury to the point we lose touch with reality or get comfortable with the bare minimum. And I realize that because of the economic disparity in the black community that we have a tendency to push back against materialism. And I definitely understand that. But we already understand that money isn't the only thing that matters. We already understand that there are more important things than money. But when you won't allow black women
I beg to differ. I beg to differ.
I was gonna say, I feel like there's a pretty serious poverty shame problem, at least in a lot of the black people that I know.
Hear me out. I disagree because, and I've said this before when I was justifying I won't date broke niggas statement. My standard of luxury and happiness is different because my family is from poverty that is worse than here in the United States. And I've met plenty of people, plenty being just people at school, Lamau. I met people at school and, a couple of girlies online in which their standard of luxury is this. Their standard of, happiness is the American dream. That's what they indulge in. It is the whole 5 cars, 10 vacations a year, the whole excessive wealth. That is what their standard is. So I don't understand the idea of like, we already know this already, when how many people indulge in this behavior just, how do I say this, to make themselves feel good, and not in a fulfilling way, but in a temporary way, if that makes sense. So like, I don't know, it was just such a weird statement to make, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, personal anecdote is like contrary to what she says.
Yeah, that was me. Like when she was talking about how most black people are anti-materialism, I just instantly thought of all the black people that I know that bought cars they can't afford, bags, shoes, all that shit they can't afford, just to flex on other broke black people.
Literally just to flex on black people.
ever
literally
be
only.
materialistic, you're contributing to the idea that black women should only be relegated to the struggle. And I know a lot of you guys don't see it that way, but that's where it leads to. We have literally
That's how you
money
interpret it.
doesn't matter ourselves to death. Then we have the nerve to get mad when black men and other people tell us we aren't worth anything and we don't deserve to be pampered.
That's because black men ain't shit either. Black men tell you that because they want to be white men.
And paid for. This is all related, black women. But you know what it is? Deep down, black women, you don't think you deserve it either. Because
Yo, I fucking called this shit. I fucking called this shit.
What?
God damn, I'm good.
We're running back. Wait,
Holy fuck, I'm good. Remember when I said she's gonna say black woman? It's not because of white supremacy that you can't have luxury. It's because you have poor imagination.
Yeah.
Okay, listen to this.
When black men and other people tell us we aren't worth anything and we don't deserve to be pampered and catered to and paid for. This is all related, black women. But you know what it is? Deep down, black women, you don't think you deserve it either. Because every time you see another black woman enjoying what's considered...
Thank you, OCAT.
Okay, so what you're telling me is that our self-worth should be based off of men.
Low key.
Because if men gives the beauty standard, and the beauty standard allows privilege, what you're telling me is that we should depend on men. That's what it's giving. It's giving very patriarchy. It's giving very much white supremacy. It's giving very much self-hate.
What I'm getting is just straight up hustle mind grind set vibes. Is that it's if you want luxury, or if you feel like you can't have luxury, it's just because you're not willing to hustle hard enough. You're not willing to grind hard enough. She's just using different language to describe it. It's because you don't want it bad enough. You don't think you deserve it. You're self-sabotaging.
Okay, listen. These niggas stuff is fuck, okay? I just combined those two words. I just combined those two words and it sounded so weird. But like, no, seriously though, because like, it's so weird hearing this because it's like, she's so close but so far away in the same breath.
Right.
And it's like, we were rooting for you, but you're like so far gone. Like,
Right. So I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, they had us in the first half vibes.
And then they hit us with the transphobia and they were like, damn. Damn. You're what a dumb. Like, oh, by the way, I understand this shit is serious. I just have to laugh it off or I'll like cry.
Right.
So,
I feel it.
So like, yeah.
I'm the same way.
to be the finer things in life. You shoot it down or you immediately associate it with white women. You don't think you can get it. You don't think you deserve it. So you don't think she should have it either. And I'm sorry, black women, you're shooting yourself in the foot when you do that. And that brings me to my next point I want to make about optics. This movement is also useful for the optics, black women. See, other groups don't try to mix politics in spaces that show or celebrate them in luxury. And they do.
If it's for black women, why the fuck do you give a fuck about what anyone who isn't a black woman thinks? Am I wrong? Like, am I out of pocket?
She's seeking validation because she's insecure. That's why. She has to. It's the thing of like, one of the things that's really complicated about feminism is because you want to, and really just a conversation about gender, right? You want to feel comfortable about yourself, but you also don't want to contribute to systems of oppression.
Right.
So for me, it's really hard for me, and I like this is like my misogynistic take, right? I hate prissy women. I hate the soft spoken, like I hate that shit, bro. I never grew up around that shit, and then like when I meet somebody IRL or like online with that shit, it feels performative and it don't feel like a real person to me.
I feel it.
So like for me, it's like I don't want to shit on you because that is your way of like expressing like your gender, right? Gender being performance, right?
Right.
But at the same exact time, it's like, holy shit, like people be treating me like I'm supposed to be like you. Like the fuck am I supposed to be around
Yes.
like walking with? So like for this, right? It's weird for me how like she's missing the plot so much because black woman's like existence is political within nature. Like you can't our existence is political because of our oppression. Like you can't divorce, like it's a thing of like our privilege is so limited to the point where it's like
You
well in my mind
my
our
feelings on the subject because you clipped me saying my feelings on the subject.
so like I don't know, it's just so weird. Like even and it's the thing, right? I feel like if the black woman in luxury movement was more based off of like community or like a community based effort, like how womanism was like low key about like the family and shit.
Right.
Like if it was that energy, then I could back it. Like okay, we're sponsoring like the local school, y'all going to the water park, like we having like a picnic and we all out here like watching a movie outside. Like if it's shit like that where it's like it's within our country, it's something that everybody could do, then I would like 100% back that. But it's not that, it's contributing to capitalism, access wealth. Not only that, but also how capitalism creates places where the economy is built off of tourism. Like
Right.
where my family's from, their whole economy is based off of the fact that people come in there for the beach and that's it. Like I can't
Yep.
back this because if we're not talking about that individual person, you're kind of like, how do I say this? Not just contributing to capitalism. You're contributing to capitalism, insecurities, and also hierarchy based off of gender.
Baltimore is low key on the same tip. Like our economy is based on tourism more or less. We have an Amazon warehouse here, whatever, but money flows in like through the aquarium, at least downtown and shit. The areas that I've worked, money flows in through tourist traps on the harbor and people staying in hotels and stuff like that. Like the America in general is just largely a service economy, right? It's waiters, short order cooks, fucking cashiers, salespeople, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I definitely get that. It's outside looking in, like I said, I'm kind of reluctant to speak on it because I'm not a black woman, but
I mean, we know it's all. We know you not trying to be malicious or some shit. Just talk your shit, homie.
yeah, like I wouldn't have such a huge problem with it if it was more what they said it was in the beginning, where it focuses more so on black women's liberation and
Right. It's
each
posturing.
each individual black woman being able to decide what is luxury for them and not necessarily this low-key, high-key European fucking white supremacist ideal of you need to have the fanciest, most expensive shit or experience the fanciest, most expensive shit, go on trips, travel, all that stuff, right? Because for me, a nice brand new Honda Civic would be luxury for me, right? Just because
For
it's a
real.
fucking nice ass car that would just work, and I wouldn't have to worry about it. So it's like, I don't know. That's my issue.
And you know what's the funniest thing, right?
Hmm.
These people also shit on quote unquote ghetto black women. So like they'll say, well, I want black women to like black women deserve luxury, but also in like the same breath like shit on like the way some black women perform femininity and being a woman in like the quote unquote like ghetto aesthetic. Like
Right.
they shit on them like crazy. It's the whole respectability
Right.
politics shit, like you
It's
said, right?
same. Yeah. Same. Frackle. Frackle just said free public transportation would be the height of luxury to him, and I'm like, hell yeah! Like when straight Star Trek vibes, fucking gay, luxurious space communism. That's the future I want, where
True.
everybody's shit is equally fancy, nice, and fucking functional. And there's no yeah, driving does suck. But yeah, let's because there's only like 5 minutes left in this video. Let's finish this shit up. Shout out to Fade Runner. That's my boy.
To not only have spaces to escape to, but also because they know that promoting themselves in luxury makes them look good. Plain and simple, ladies, it makes you look good. No matter where it comes from, what we see as luxury today is appealing. It is. So other groups understand that the optics just make them more appealing. And this is part of staying on code, Black women. You don't attempt to politicize a movement that makes you look good. And on my channel, I talk a lot about marketing, promotion, and optics and media representation for Black women and dark-skinned Black women in particular. And I talk about why a particular kind of representation is important. And this is part of it. As superficial as it may be, with the struggle love, downtrodden, hold a brother down, money doesn't matter, all this poverty promotion Black women overwhelmingly get in the mainstream, because that does make up most of our mainstream promotion, ladies. With all of that going on, the Black woman luxury movement and the optics of it help to balance that out. And now we're seeing, little glimpses of that on TV as well. And it's helping.
Nah, it gets into what you were saying earlier. It's when you're on the hustle mind grind set and you just have, when your goal is luxury. So you have, you live in poverty, but you have shit like this all over your social media. It's going to fuck you up mentally. It's not, it's actually not good. Like if I was a different type of dude and I was on the hustle mind grind set shit and I just had on my social media just pictures of rappers with fucking rack aids and big ass gold chains and Bugattis and shit, I probably would have already fucking Minecrafted myself, because there's just no way. Like, I already work hard as shit as it is. I don't know. It's just this. It's self-report. It's privileged self-report. Like I said, I got it, so please stop making me feel guilty about it. Just go out there and work harder. Just have a better imagination, and you can get it too. Matter of fact, subscribe to my Patreon, and I'll tell you how to get it.
No, actually, subscribe to Endless Patreon if he hasn't been.
Oh no, I was joking, but yeah, I have a Patreon, but I don't have anything on it because I haven't figured out how to finesse it yet. But yeah.
To balance things out. Now, of course, we won't get the same benefits as white women, for example, who are promoted in this manner. White women have privilege that works in tandem with their promotional success. So the Black feminists out there who are constantly misquoting us and intentionally misrepresenting our movement, no, we don't think that this movement will turn us into white women with white privilege. But that does not mean that Black women can't benefit at all from appealing promotion. Black men, for example, are marginalized just like we are, and they still benefit from their desirability promotion despite their position in society.
No, we benefit because we're men and we still exist in a patriarchal society, and a lot of Black men secretly wish that they were white women.
True.
Oh shit, thank you, Frackle. Damn, there ain't shit on there. I appreciate your patronage, but I'll talk about it after we get through this video. I'll talk about me after.
Welcome that promotion as well. They don't stupidly reject it like Black women do. They stay on code. And Black women we just don't know how to do that. And it's really sad. And after looking at a second video of this Black woman where she was talking about falling into the carefree Black girl movement, after watching that video, I get the feeling that this woman, along with many other Black women, have a problem with binary thinking. And this is just not a Black woman or a Black person thing. Everybody has a problem with binary thinking.
What did I say? What did I say? It's because you have poor imagination. That's your fault.
More so with Black people, unfortunately. And we think and we feel like we can only be one thing at a time. Or we feel like if we're one thing, it cancels out the other thing that we are. And you guys, I'm sorry, but that is just not the way humans are set up. We are multiple things at the same time. And I get what this woman is saying, but you can be carefree sometimes, just not all the time. You can indulge and enjoy luxury and luxurious experiences, just not all the time. It's the same thing I tell you guys constantly about femininity. You can be soft and hard. You can be weak and strong. No woman is 100% feminine, which is why I had y'all take that fun little quiz that measured both your femininity and masculinity. A carefree or luxury movement for black women isn't saying that you have to forever ignore all of your problems and pretend they aren't there. A femininity movement for black women isn't saying that you always 100% have to be feminine. It's to help black women regain that traditional side of femininity that a lot of us have lost and we've been conditioned not to embrace. It's not to say that we can't embrace our masculinity or our masculine qualities at all, but it's to focus on that one part, because that one part a lot of us feel like we're missing or that we've never been able to embrace. That's why movements for one particular thing are necessary. And I feel that some of you are literally going to drive yourself insane trying to be one thing all the time and trying to combine everything all at once. You cannot do that. You can't.
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Agreed. I wonder what you would call a capitalist, a black capitalist.
Be unbothered all the time. It's not possible. You can't be a social justice warrior 24/7. It will literally kill you. So find a good balance without muling yourself and roll with that. It is possible, ladies. I do it all the time. And I don't expect every single movement for black women to address all of the things I have going on inside of me or all of the issues that we face as black women. It's impossible. Like I said, ladies, all-inclusive spaces do not exist. Enjoy your separate spaces, enjoy your separate movements, and come together when you need to come together.
Thank you,
Make
Nick.
your own movement and address whatever you want to address in your movement if you feel like there's not a space for that. So again, black women, SJWing does not have to exist in the black girl luxury movement.
And that's see, whenever people say SJW, that shit is a self-report to me too. That shit is so sus. Like, it shows me that you truly don't understand. Because these are people that are fighting for your rights and your existence, but because you lack the capability to understand that capitalism itself is anti-black, you think that anti-blackness is just a completely separate phenomena that coincidentally coincides, that exists at the same time as capitalism. That, I mean, Fred Hampton warned us about these type of people. We don't beat capitalism with black capitalism. We beat capitalism with socialism. So, yeah, this shit's crazy. What up, Fluff? And yes, it does sound like a dog whistle, Bodo. Whenever somebody says SJW, depending on the context of the conversation and who it is saying it, I will instantly tune them out and not take anything they say seriously.
Every movement with the reminder of systemic oppression. We know that.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Were you talking earlier?
No, I'm trying to make sure. Okay, my issue. Why is she using a whole bunch of pictures of beautiful black women out here killing the game in order to fucking slander them for no damn reason? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Because she's like, it's a thing of like, as I said, right? She's lying while like also using truths, right? Just like how like the right wing does for this video. And it's like, why are you having a whole bunch of like pictures of beautiful black women who are just existing, and then you're like putting them into like the movement and shit in order to like posture your point? Because I bet you that like existence is such a like good thing for the movement and everything, but like, why the fuck is she doing, like, why is this a thing? Like, genuinely,
yeah,
like this is giving, like, for me, this is giving me like Black Girl Magic, right? Black Girl Magic was supposed to be like, okay, well, we're celebrating black women, we're celebrating dark-skinned women,
right?
Like, we're doing all of these things, right? So why not just have something like simple like that? Then black women deserve luxury, because like Black Girl Magic wasn't a political like movement type energy. Like, that was, you know,
it's just like Black Lives Matter.
Right?
It was just straight up a thing that became a thing because so many people vibed with it. Yeah.
Right, like, I don't know, it's just so weird, like,
yeah.
I don't know.
What up, Fluff? And the person that's making this video, Nick, I think is just like a regular run-of-the-mill liberal. So yeah, just like a regular reactionary. A lot of the stuff that she says, because I actually said this earlier, is that a lot of the shit that she is saying is congruent. Like, it smells the same as like a lot of the shit that a Kevin Samuels would say about high value men and that sort of shit. Bink and I were talking about that earlier. But I can't, for the same reason I can't do the fucking like black supremacist thing. I can't look at the black woman saying shit that maybe perhaps one of Kevin Samuels types or something would say and draw the same conclusions from it, because the motivations for it are different and the consequences of it are different. I don't know if that makes sense, me saying that, but suffice it to say, I believe this woman is just a regular liberal reactionary, like pro-capitalist reactionary, but because the subject matter is what it is, it's going to sound like what you would call hotep shit. I'm trying to because that word got low-key colonized, and I remember when hotep actually meant something good. Shout out to Carr. If you don't follow Carr on YouTube, make sure you follow him. It's Kar. But he actually identifies as a hotep and is kind of reclaiming that word. But you smell hotepery fluff, yeah. But yeah, because it is what it is, and it's black people trying to do capitalism super fucking hard, it's gonna smell like that. But I don't think it's that.
It's there, and we actively work on that in other spaces. We don't have to think piece every single thing, and I say that as a think piecer, okay? And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be accused of turning a blind eye to the more important issues that black women face in this country by all the black feminists who don't like me and who are extreme and like to ignore half of what I say. I know.
Can I say, just because, like I said, I'm not a black woman, but I get so fucking tired of y'all saying basic ass shit and being called extreme for it, right? Like Professor Flowers vibes. Like, I think that I don't think it's nefarious or intentional, but it's straight up COINTELPRO shit. Like, you take the least charitable fucking interpretation of a single take from a person that is high key what we're supposed to be doing anyway in the first place, and then you make them seem crazy behind that and completely remove their voice from the total conversation.
No, I agree.
But yeah,
I 100% agree. It's tiring.
Blame white people for it. Yeah, I feel it, Fluff.
They're going to say we're evil capitalists and we're wannabe white women. But look around. Those very same black feminists also enjoy their...
That is the least self-aware shit ever. Just like this other person complaining about how they think that they're called not black enough just because they're light skinned. It's like, nah, I don't think that's it, bro. I don't think anybody told Angela Davis that she wasn't black enough just because she is light skinned, bro. I don't think that happened.
Oh my god, please talk about it, because
I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna get into it.
Let's do the whole combination, my guy.
Let's do it.
Got a whole main and side.
Let's do this first. Let's do this first.
European looking weaves. They enjoy their high heels. They enjoy their plastic surgery, their Botox, their designer items, their designer bags, their white supremacist educational hierarchies. They go on their vacations. They buy their $1 million properties like the Black Lives Matter lady did. They participate in all that
this
shit
is projection.
While telling us over here that we can't. Okay?
This is pure projection. Take them
seriously. Black women, enjoy your luxury. Enjoy your femininity. Enjoy your image being associated with luxury and traditional femininity. And enjoy that without SJWing whenever you can. And allow other black women to enjoy it as well. We are allowed to enjoy that and do that and only that sometimes, just like everybody else. So that's all I have on this. Let me know what you think down in the comment section, and I'll catch up with you in the next video.
Boy, does that sound familiar. I don't have to always be black. Sometimes I can just be, I can be whatever. I can be whatever is most necessary, most beneficial to me at the time. You know what I mean?
My blackness, me being black, changes depending on the person I'm talking to.
Yeah. When I'm on vacation, I can just decide not to be black. You know what I mean?
Right.
Call them out. See, I don't know. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. We're
You
gonna name
talking about
names.
transparent one?
Yeah, we're gonna name names.
Uh,
Fuck it. I'm talking about Ellen DeGenerate. Talk
Oh,
about
also, I talk shit about everybody, so I don't give a fuck. You heard?
but when the cops try to get at you, drop it like it's hot. Exactly, bird. Like that was my main point. That so all right, fuck it. Let's get into that. So also because people are trying to call me racist and call me black supremacist, that I essentialize people based on their skin color or whatever. My main point, the thing that I like, we did 4 whole ass panels on this with Katarana, right? Where we were trying to explain this. Like, very clearly, blackness is not just you have X amount of melanin, your skin is this hexadecimal value, and therefore you are black, right? Just like Carl was saying, there are some people that will call Candace Owens not black purely because of the things that she engages in, regardless of her skin color, right?
Because she isn't, Lamau.
I wouldn't go that far, but I could see why you would say that. Case in point, when you have a person that only, like I said, and like Bink clipped me saying, I was born a nigga, I woke up this morning a nigga, and guess what the fuck I'm gonna be tomorrow? I don't get to turn that shit off, right? Even when I was surrounded by white kids in the county and moving through the world like that, I was still black at the end of the day. So that wasn't necessarily an option for me, and it's not an option for a lot of other black people. And for truly black people, no matter what your skin color is, and that's why I kept bringing up Angela Davis in that conversation, no matter what shade you are or what texture your hair is, people will know that you're black, either because you go out of your way to demonstrate your blackness or they see you around other black people, right? Like I said, blackness is a condition. The whole reason that we even have the term black is because of white supremacy and how white supremacy deals with us. The extent of your blackness is your distance from white supremacy. That's literally it. That's why certain things, certain media, certain people, whatever, can be called black. So, as much as I hate to engage in saying who is or is not black, in certain instances, I think it's important to gatekeep blackness, specifically because of that type of shit, right? Where you ostensibly have built your entire fucking brand around being the token fluff. You've ostensibly built your entire fucking brand around being the token spokesperson for black people in a specific community, whether it's a Vosh or whatever, right? On some Uncle Ruckus vibes, to where you'll notice with me, I don't spend any time, I don't spend any time criticizing people like Candace Owens or, Thomas Sowell or any of that type of shit. And I spend very, very little time critiquing or shitting on other black movements, right? Like, we'll do this type of stuff that we're doing right now because it's not actually black liberation, and the goal of it is not black liberation. So there's a difference between criticizing other black activists and criticizing other black people for doing anti-black shit. And there was a lot of shit that was weird about that guy on the panel, but at the end, the weirdest shit in the world to me, and some of you guys that might not have played Dying Light 2 might not get this, but we were both playing Dying Light 2, and I'm almost afraid to look at his content on it, because if you look at mine, as soon as I found out there was they obviously don't call themselves anarchists, but they fit in that mold, so to say, of just the poor and fucked up people that the occupying military regime was brutalizing and stealing resources from, when I got the opportunity to give those people their water back and their electricity back, I said it was for the people, and I fucking did it. I didn't give a fuck about what their motives were. It was theirs. It belonged to them, and I gave it back to them. But this dude was talking about critiquing the anarchist movement and their shit. And I thought that was the most fucking sus shit in the world, because these are people that are literally living through a fucking zombie apocalypse, and you're sitting from your comfortable chair playing as the most OP character in the game, and you're judging people on their actions when they're literally dying of fucking thirst and starving to death with zombies around them trying to fucking eat them, right? It was the most arrogant shit in the world to me. And sure enough, sure as shit, I would see this person coming at me for defending Professor Flowers, right? Until the breaking point for me was, you're talking shit on Move, right? You think you know better than them? What part of appealing to the working class do you think playing loud music and shit was? Okay, guy, do you understand that we exist in a country of white supremacy, right? They probably figured out that their neighbors and shit didn't give a fuck about anything that they were talking about or doing, right? Because here's the thing. I get that you exist in white spaces and shit, so you think everybody's happy-go-lucky and everybody just wants to come together in solidarity and shit. But what you have to understand is, even within the labor movement, there was heavy, and I mean heavy, anti-blackness. Look up the fucking, shout out to Alki. You can go to Alki's fucking YouTube and look up A Case of a Colored Co-op. It talks about where Frederick Douglass formed one of the first black co-ops in America, because the other poor Italians and Irish people at the time were still anti-black. It didn't matter that they in the case of here, because this is Baltimore history, so I'm gonna talk my shit. In the case of here, they literally occupied the same fucking space. It's an area called Pigtown, right? But because the purpose of anti-blackness towards the end with your immigrants and shit was to divide and conquer the proletariat, you were able to get the Italians and the Irish to say, yeah, I'm poor. Yeah, I live in this neighborhood. Yeah, I don't have fucking indoor plumbing. I got to throw my shit out the window onto the street, but at least I'm not black. Right? So when you fucking go and you critique black movements because you're either unwilling or unable to understand that about black people and the history of black people in the country, and you're on Vosh time where you're like, I don't give a fuck about what their experience is. If I gain enough book smarts, it's possible for me to know better what the people should do on the ground, right? That's not socialism. It's literally just white savior, fucking European white supremacist bullshit. It's not there's not a single person. It's like, I get that other black people or whatever criticized Move at the time, and that's cool, but that doesn't mean you need to shit on them now. Like, what purpose does that serve? How is that effective black liberation, right? If you're not going to present solutions, it seems to me, right, from my observation, and I could be wrong because I don't give a fuck about this person, so I haven't consumed a whole lot of his content, but what I've seen from him is his willingness, first of all, to only put his blackness to the forefront when it's time for him to make some content dunking on other black revolutionaries, right? But second of all, this idea that that made me lose my train of thought. Hang on. Let me look at the chat really quick. Not the rape thing, but the chastising black people thing. Yes. Have you played Bioshock Infinite and heard of the retcon ending where the black anarchist black girl goes bad guy? No. It's all good. Yeah, I'm racist. Yeah, it's in the dictionary. Yeah. But first of all, you're doing literally what you accused me of doing, right? Where you're saying that I use my blackness as a tool or whatever. Nah, I just live in my blackness 24/7. I have no problem saying I'm black and I'm proud. I'm black all the time, not just when it's safe and convenient and beneficial to me, right? So first of all, We only know that you're black when it's time for you to insert yourself into black conversations or make criticisms of black movements and black people. But second of all, I don't see no solutions, brother. I don't see no solutions. I see mad criticisms and I don't see no solutions. I don't see no action, right? Because I could tell you exactly the type of shit that I support. I support Tubman House here. I support Food Not Bombs, right? I support They Them Collective in DC. There's lots of organizations and movements out there out right now, right? But all I see is someone who is probably, and I'm making assumptions here, but what I'm assuming is the case here is that we have a person from Vosh's community, watch Vosh, and just like, and I don't think this is a hard assumption because I existed in this space, right? Where you see these people and you're like, you know what? I think I'm pretty smart. I could probably say some stuff that people will like. But because you exist in that space, you think the way to get there is through dunking and shit. This is why I kept saying debate brain, right? It's because nobody actually give a fuck about learning anything in these fucking spaces. They just want to see their favorite streamer make other people look stupid. So you think that appearing smart and being on centrist time where you can establish yourself as above the fray and smarter than everyone else, or at least using your blackness in this instance as a reason why people should listen to you above everyone else, and then using that to then establish yourself as somehow smarter or more effective than other black people around you who live in their blackness 24/7, like I said. It's sus as fuck. And then to turn around and say that I'm essentializing race and stuff like that. Thank you, Fluff. I appreciate you. Yeah, it's youthful ignorance for sure, Fluff, but at the same time, when people encounter that, like, this is my whole point behind what I do. Like, first and foremost, I want my platform to be a safe space, for lack of a better term, for black revolutionaries and black revolutionary thought and people that want to support that, and other anarchists and leftists as well. I want this to be a space where people who have been rejected as too extreme or whatever can actually meet other cool people and have these types of conversations, right? And then second to that is education for people who are curious and don't necessarily know which direction to move. So it becomes very frustrating to me when I have people like that, because I was not very many years ago, I was also anti-communist because I thought I was fucking smarter than I was on the centrist, the same centrist vibes, that Western criticism, that Western propaganda that I hadn't addressed within myself, where it's like I'm not a communist and I'm not conservative or a Nazi or whatever, racist or whatever. I'm smarter. I'm the third position, not understanding that there is no third position. There is no acceptable level of racism. You are either anti-racist or you are not, right? And it's kind of the same with blackness. Like you're not a certain percentage black, right? You either are black or you're not black. And if you're literally just going to be like, hey, I'm racially ambiguous, but because I have black ancestry, so I can speak on this subject, that's one drop rule. Like you're doing European white supremacy. You are doing it, but you accuse me when I tell you, nigga, stand on that shit. If you're black, then be black, right? I'm not saying you can't be black. I'm saying you can't be black sometimes. If you're black, then you're black.
Also, just to touch on that real quick, what we're saying, because I agree, right, is that you are a public figure now, right? You're a streamer, right? You are a person who has a Twitter. The way you promote yourself is by default the way you want to. There's nobody
Right.
holding anything over your head to be like, well, gonna be black this day and then be Asian the next. Like nobody's holding anything over you so that you have to choose and pick a side. So if you have a an account and you publicize your shit as like I'm flip flopping, that is 100% how you view yourself.
Right.
And this means you're doing it for profit.
Right. Facts. And I don't do shit for profit. Like I said, my mission is black liberation. And if I can acquire personal comfort and, make a living off of doing this shit, cool. But I'm not out here to fucking get Twitch famous and sell t-shirts and make $1 million. Like, I'm here to promote the things that I promote and have conversations with people like we're having now. Like, so that's why I'm not from anyone's community. I'm not a VGGer. I'm not a DGGer. The only person whose content I really consume like that is Hassan. And I don't even watch his streams live. I just watch his fucking YouTube videos. And I don't even interact with them shits.
His community is base as fuck, but we're not gonna talk about that.
Right. Because people love to hate that man. But that's who I model myself after, straight up, where I don't even want to mention a lot of these streamers' names and have that beef be a part of what I do. But I feel like in this instance, I kind of gotta, just because that accusation of me being racist was thrown out there by another, that person, Mythalder or whatever, who is, first of all, not black, but then not even from America. So I have no idea why that person even inserted themselves in the fucking conversation. But yeah, had to get that one off because I've been kind of. Thank you, Frackle. I'm glad because that's my hope too, is that we attract and can have conversations with real leftists. I don't mean people who are hashtag leftists, right? So they're like super fucking horny to get dunks and super pressed about optics and all this crazy shit. I mean people who are focused on us and our needs and our movement and our mission, and not how it looks to the people who will never give a fuck about us, point blank. They have to be made to in one way or another. Whether that's through financial pressure or political pressure, or what Mao said, the power comes from. That's kind of my thing. Optics, sweaty. Yeah. It's like you're trying to, for me, the optics argument is so fucking ridiculous to me, is because you're trying to appeal, for me as a black person, it would be me trying to appeal to people who don't even fucking see me as a human being. I'm a monkey to them, quite literally, right? They're not going to listen to me no matter what I say. And in best case scenario, I'm a pet to them, right? Because just because a dog is man's best friend doesn't mean that man doesn't see himself as a superior animal. So why any person would want those types of relationships is extremely sus to me. And that's why I don't do the whole conservative shit on here. I don't do debates. I don't do none of that shit, because I want to attract a very specific audience. And my community right now is perfect as fuck. I got Fluff, I got Frackle, I got the people I know in real life or am adjacent to in real life, like Bird, fucking Fade Runner, and people from Vosh's YouTube even, because it was what it was. And I was we were all very deliberate about what we said on there. All the people that I've gotten from Vosh's videos have been cool. Or Vosh's video have been cool. Fucking leftist Al, like, have to sell you in Bush head on quoting Mal. Word. So the reason why I fuck with Mal, because so this is another part of me trying to, and this is what's also crazy when people say that like I reject whiteness or that I don't meet people where they're at. It's like, I'm willing to meet white people where they are. It's just I'm only willing to go to a certain point, and then the journey's not worth it to me, because then I got to walk all the fuck the way back, right? So when I talk about Marx, when I talk about Mao, I talk about Lenin and stuff. Understand that this is shit that niggas was doing in Africa forever, right? Until the Europeans came and fucked it up for us. So like Marx himself noted that the way that we lived in Africa was through communalism, right? So the reason why I fuck with Mao is because I feel like a lot of leftists, like white leftists, will be Marxist Leninist Maoists. And for me, the most important thing that Mao talked about was poverty being active warfare against the proletariat. You have Marxism, Leninism, which describes like, you know, dialectical materialism and the whole conflict between the rich and the poor and how history can be defined that way. But Mao really goes into the militant aspect of it and how the state uses violence and death to enforce poverty, and how poverty is not like an accidental consequence that nobody can solve, right? It's literally a tool of war that the upper class uses against the lower class. It confuses you, Fluff? It's cool. Basically, the long and short of it is that if you understand that the rich are not rich in spite of poverty existing, the rich are rich because poverty exists, do you understand Maoism? You understand Marxism, Leninism, Maoism right there. This is why I don't go too heavy, too deep into the theory shit, because I myself am not super well versed in it, but also when I try to explain it, I do it very, very poorly. Mao, yeah. So Mao himself, the execution, and it's the same thing with like the USSR and shit. What you have to do, unfortunately, is separate the things that they wrote about and theorized from the actions that they actually took, right? Because just like with the Black Panther Party for self-defense, like they had Eldridge Cleaver in the group, and he was a fucking scumbag. He was a rapist. He low-key probably should have never been in the party. You had Huey Newton openly talking about the chauvinism, and of course you had Angela Davis, who wrote about the straight up like sexism. You know what I mean? The chauvinism, the cavalier attitude that the men had about, they really focused on the self-defense and the machismo and all that stuff, while the black woman had to take care of them as well as doing all the other radical duties that they were performing in the Black Panther Party, like feeding and educating the children and organizing and so on and so forth, right? So you have to, like I said, focus on the mission, because people are not perfect, but ideas can be, right? So when you have I feel like you could pull those beliefs from better people, like even yourself, to be honest, smart as fuck, bro. You ain't got to quote a piece of shit to be valid. Your own beliefs and thoughts are valid. Well, that's what I'm saying. I could do that, but I got to appeal to the Marxist Leninist Maoists, because like I said, I'm appealing to people who are already amenable to the ideas that I have. I'm trying to appeal to people already on the left. I don't want to waste time talking to people on the right, because it's too much effort and too much energy, and they always want to fucking argue with you anyway. You know what I mean? Like if I say, hey, the cops hate black people, and I speak on that experience, they'll want to go back and forth with me because their father is a cop or something like that. I'm not dealing with that. I only want to talk to, just like how I talk about how I don't do debate panels when I was saying with Frackle, like how the only types of panels that I really genuinely enjoy are panels of all leftists, just with varying levels of experience, teasing out the different nuance of whatever topic it is they're talking about. I will only generally go that hard and engage in that kind of conversation with people who are already on the left, right? As a black anarchist. So like when I do the whole meet people where they're at and bring them to where I am thing, it's usually Marxist Leninist Maoists who have unaddressed internalized white supremacy. And those are the people who are more amenable to the concepts that I speak on, as opposed to if I were to say go on a fucking panel with CTV and try to convince him that poverty is violence, right? No one benefits from that. I don't benefit from that because it makes my fucking blood pressure skyrocket and blood shoot out of my nose. CTV sure as shit doesn't benefit that because he doesn't understand anything that's not written in the Dr. Seuss book. Y'all wouldn't benefit from that because y'all's blood pressure would also go up from having to see CTV on your fucking screens for longer than 10 seconds. And CTV's audience would sure as shit not gain anything from that other than them clip chimping me and fucking talking about how he dunked on me or whatever. You know what I mean? I guess it feels weird because we agree on most shit politically. I'm not an ML Marxist or communist. I'm a socialist who really dislikes ML's LOL. But yeah, I'm not particularly fond of a lot of people who identify as ML or MLM myself, but I get the value and the things that they wrote, if that makes sense. Because that's actually why I consider myself an anarchist and why I was anti-communist for so long. Is because I had such shitty fucking interactions with MLMs who had not, they were class reductionists, point blank period. They weren't trying to hear shit about, you know, black struggle, black anarchism, none of that. They were just super fucking horny to have their vanguard party, right? They were super horny to have their vanguard party and be leaders or organizers in that vanguard party or whatever weird low-key white savior motivations that they have. It's the same shit that I was just talking about with fucking like Ellen DeGeneres and shit. It's people that think they know better than the people that actually are in the trenches, right? That's what I fuck with Mao saying. Mao said, go amongst the masses. The masses will decide for themselves what is the best course of action.
True.
Exactly, Fluck. That's exactly what I'm saying, Fluff. It's more, I feel like it's more because I get people will take me to task on my interpretations of that particular leftist theory. Like I said, I don't really read a whole lot of the European shit because I'm on nigga time. But it keeps me honest because it keeps me well versed in those talking points amongst the quote unquote left in America, right? But also it's beneficial to them and it's beneficial to y'all because you get to hear my experience and you get the black anarchist vibes and you get to understand where that comes from and why it's important. And I push anarchism super heavy. And like I said, I appreciate variance of tactics. So if people want to organize and form parties and stuff, that's cool. But I think it's putting the cart before the horse. I think once you've got people fed, you got them clothed, you got them in a comfortable, safe space, then you can start educating them and organizing them. But I feel like I said, a lot of the MLs and MLMs get super fucking horny about their little vanguard party or their white savior shit or whatever. And it leaves a bad taste in people's mouths. I know I'm lucky that I came to the position that I am now. Because if my only interactions were with the initial people that I had come across that were communists or Marxists or whatever's, I would always go through life hating all fucking things remotely communist, Marxist, or whatever. But the thing that I had to learn and the thing that I was in denial about was that the Black Panther Party actually took a lot of cues from Mao.
True.
Your biggest dislikes of MLs is the double standards for China and Russian imperialism. Oh, facts. See, and this is what I'm talking about, where it gets into not necessarily, it's people who are dogmatic about those particular texts, right? Because if you read the actual theory, it makes sense. But the people who are going to be the spokespeople for that theory are fucking stupid. And they're American white kids, right? So they have the same prejudices that everyone else has. They just refuse to confront it because they think they're above it, because they've read what they perceive to be the pristine, perfect, final political position, right? they think that they are warriors for the poor and impoverished without ever actually fucking listening to them and what they have to say and what their needs are. They just know that they have this it's Vosh vibes, right? They think that they have this knowledge and this understanding of the way that the world works beyond the people that are in those conditions. And so they think that that gives them the right to tell those people what to do. So like the double standards for China and Russia legit comes from America bad, right? And that's why you see a weird and I hate using this word because it really doesn't mean anything, but tankies, you see them defending Russia, because those are the types of people that legitimately believe, first of all, if they're not just USSR stands and they don't realize that Vladimir Putin is not a fucking communist, but also the idea that no matter what America does, anything against America is wrong. There's a party called the Workers' World Party they have a base here in America, and they've done crazy shit like supported Saddam Hussein, you know, that kind of shit, just because he challenged American hegemony, which is like just, yeah. Radicalizing liberals is a lot more productive than trying to reach right wingers. Facts, Frackle. You're absolutely correct. It's at the very least, it feels like a much better use of my time to try to, well, I'll say this, the only Republicans or the only right wingers that I truly see as worth talking to and having these conversations with are people who exist in the working class. Excuse me. So like the dock workers and truck drivers I work with, whose only political knowledge or understanding is literally just white supremacy, that they won't understand as that or view as that. They're Trump supporters or whatever. And when I have to tell them shit like, you know, prime example, there was this guy that came in, Trump supporter. He's a truck driver, right? We were having a conversation about the fact that this particular day, we were having to hustle on the dock because there was a lot more freight. So that means truck drivers were having to move quicker. That means I was having to move more on the dock. So we were just talking about how, you know, it's crazy that we work so much harder than normal, yet we're still going to get paid the same at the end of the day, right? And I said, yep, that's capitalism for you. But he was so indoctrinated. His response to that was, I think it's okay though, because the owners took all of the risk to front all the capital to start the business. And I had to pull him aside and tell him, like, motherfucker, you risk your life and limb every day in that goddamn truck. Right? You could fucking, it couldn't even be your fault. Some dickhead could be on their phone or something and fucking swerve in front of you or whatever. And that's it. Right? Because the place is sure as shit not going to give a fuck about you. They're going to give you a little benefits package, a little severance package or whatever. You're going to have to file for disability, and that's going to be bullshit because you're going to have to keep applying for it and applying for it and applying for it. You will be fucked, and no one will give a fuck or help you, right? You got to explain this kind of shit to people who exist in these conditions and they can smell the outside world, but they don't know what direction to walk in. The thing I've encountered is that reaching and radicalizing those on the left or even liberals is much more on the table simply because they at least have a core value of wanting fairness in a better world. Right-wingers have a fundamentally different value system, and swaying them on that isn't really in the cards. Yeah, exactly. Those people, they like the way things are because they're at the top. And this is what I always have to tell leftists or prospective leftists or whatever who are on this debate bro shit on Twitch and YouTube and shit. You are not going to offer them anything that they think they will benefit from more than the benefits that they think that they get from white supremacy. You are not going to reason Brit from Politically Provoked out of thinking that little Timmy is a real position, right? She's a fucking blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman. You're not going to tell her shit. She is going to ride with white supremacy until the fucking wheels fall off, because she gains nothing from sacrificing all of her privilege to come hang with the black people and the queers and the fucking, you know what I mean, and accept all of that fucking. This is the criticism I have of people like fucking Ellen DeGenerate, right? It's mad easy for you to be black when you're getting something out of it, right? But when the cops show up, you got racist neighbors, whatever, sure, then that's when you're just brown. That's when you're just racially ambiguous. And it's foolishness, right? You're not going to, there's no rational argument. This is why arguing with race realists is fucking pointless, right? Is because they, first of all, know that they're lying. They know they're full of shit. So that just right there, it's pointless to argue with them. But even if they genuinely believe the shit that they were talking about, you have nothing to offer them. You got no leverage. So, yeah, no habla español. Muy poquito. Lo siento. I'd argue MLs often believe in hierarchies just as much as any conservatism. I think that's literally baked into Leninism. The working class don't know what's best for them. I know what's best for them. No, it's actually not. If you that's why Marxism, Leninism, Maoism is important. So like actually
endless.
That's like Trotsky shit. What were you saying? I'm sorry, Bink.
No, it's all good. I'm vibing and I don't have anything to say, and I doubt we're gonna watch like the other video because it's like 30 minutes. So like, yeah.
Oh damn. We can do that again next week if you want to do this again next week. I'm down for it.
Yeah. The other one is more like critiquing the movement, so we're probably just gonna vibe on that video anyway.
I feel it.
So,
what day of the week do you want to run that one? You free Monday? We could probably do Monday.
Yeah, we can do Monday.
All right, bet. Monday at 10?
Yeah, Monday at 10.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But later, guys. Okay, later.
Thanks, Bink.
You're welcome. See you later.
I'll see you. Sorry, I got carried away talking to chat. But yeah, so that's like Trotsky vibes, right? Where you think that the like intelligentsia and intellectuals in your society are on a different level somehow, or like intrinsically more important than the quote unquote working class. That's why he got low key kicked the fuck out. But like Marxism, Leninism, Maoism, like and this is where people get their symbols fucked up too, because it's not just the hammer and sickle, it's the hammer, sickle, and calligraphy brush. Because true leftists of that cloth understand the importance of artists and intellectuals on the same level as engineers and farmers, right? But yeah, I feel like I was saying that Confucianism has elitism baked in it. You're gonna red pill me on this? Word. Because maybe I just don't know enough. But that strikes me as so, and it's the same observation that I made about Ukraine, where so states like that have had to fight consistently for their right to exist, basically, will be ultra nationalist intrinsically, especially if they're racially homogenous areas. So that's why like North Korea has Juche, where they like think that like the North Korean people are like the superior people on planet Earth. It's fucked, and I don't agree with it, but I understand why what the motivation for that thinking is. It's the same as like why you can't compare black nationalism to white nationalism, right? Because it's just completely fucking different, and the motivations for it are different, and the consequences of it are different, right? So unfortunately, when you synthesize that with Western leftists, who are like inculcated in a society of white supremacy in ways that they might not even be consciously aware of, that's when that leaks through into like motherfuckers who like want to balkanize or want to like make a USSR America, and people who literally divide, like will take a map or like a globe and a picture of North America and like divide it up into different states like the USSR, and like don't understand how that's exactly the fucking same as what the United States did to this country. Like, it's that vibe. And that's part of the reason why it's the main reason why I call myself an anarchist, is because I am against that kind of shit. I'm about the militants and everything, but yeah. But now that it's just me and we're just chatting, I think I'm gonna play some Dead by Daylight, actually. Is it updated? It is. But yeah, there's always, like in the USSR, they subscribe to Lysenkoism. Like, for me, it's just like, it's like my, not to get too super personal, but it's like my spiritual beliefs, right? I just use what works. That's all. I don't subscribe to any particular theological dogma. I just have my experience and the things that I have my experience in. I was raised Baptist. I got into metal and became a Satanist or whatever. And then of a deep burning desire to explore the Africa vibes culturally and spiritually, I got into Vodun and Voodoo and Hoodoo and Sambo and Kumbo and stuff. Having conversations with my grandmother and viewing all of her beliefs and her superstitions through that lens, and listening to her tell me stories about doing 18th century magic and stuff. But yeah, you prefer not to get too stun locked on theory when I can do things practically. Exactly, Frackle. That's my thing. That's basically the long and short of it. I don't like to get super stun locked on theory. I just like to say, if you can do something, do it. Send money to Food Not Bombs. Send money to your local jail solidarity organization. Form a labor union. Join a labor union. Join the IWW. Whatever it is. If you can do it now and be part of something, just baby steps. You know what I mean? Baby steps. You don't need to have read fucking Das Capital. You don't need to have read Mao's Little Red Book. You don't really need all of that shit. You just have to give a fuck. And on that note, let's play some Deadies. Why is this like this? There we go. I'm also going to open another window. That was opposite. That's also true. Yeah, that's also true, Fluff. Is that and that's why I always point out the contradictions in the party, the Black Panther Party, because as base as they were and as awesome as they were not perfect people, and it was not a perfect movement, right? Let's shut the fuck out of here. Who's online? Chubby Waifu, and Pixel Paws. Let me let the boys know I'm on the daddies. Yeah, hell yeah, Fluff. I'd love to play. I'm also going to, let me open up a window really quick. It's mad warm in here. Could also play some Demon X Machina, but I don't think. What up, Key? Motherfuckers always try to say I'm capping when I say I'm on the daddies. I'm literally on the daddies right now. Shout out to Keyblade Warriors. Make sure you follow Keyblade Warriors on Facebook. Let me see if perhaps Pixel Paws or someone else would like to play Zididis. Let's see, Chubby's on, Chubbs is on. Alright, let me also change my stream. I just started playing Dead by Daylight, Key. I was talking with Binkprincess for a minute about the Black Girls That Serve Luxury. There was a video she wanted to critique to talk about the perils of black capitalism, more or less. I always enjoy talking to Bink. Her insight's always good. And it's funny because I was having that conversation with another mutual friend who's a little bit older than me, but also I guess you could describe as a black anarchist, is that the people under 32 are who are really going to save us at the end of the day, especially the black woman. So uh-oh. What did I do? I just did something, I don't know what I did. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's back. I myself am 32. I'm 32. Black don't crack. Black do not crack. I'm 32. I'll be 33 in 5 months. Thank you, Fraggle. Always with the dope book recommendations. You didn't come across as aggro at all, Fluff. You didn't come across as aggro to me at all. I fuck with conversation like that, so never feel like yeah, I enjoyed the conversation. Whoops. I'm just fixing this shit up a little bit, sorry. Yeah, good night. Have a good night, Fluff. Thanks for stopping by and thanks for the tip. Who am I gonna join for Daddies? I guess I'm gonna join up on Pixel because Chubbs is not.
You fucked off.
Hey,
Hold on.
Like,
y'all got room for one?
Wah. Wah.
You got room for one more survivey?
Yes.
We're surviving. You get it?
Big Survivor vibes. Alright, I'm gonna join up on y'all. Oh wait, I can't.
Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck.
We're in a match.
Oh, hi.
Oh hey.
Well, I found a totem, but it wasn't the right totem.
It sounds like endless, and I want to say that it's endless, but I could be wrong.
It
Yeah,
is.
it's me.
Getting away from that
It's
hill.
your boy.
Totem's like she would have laughed if I missed the skill check on his heel. I'm looking for the totem. I can't find it. Where are you, little hex totem?
I'm just gonna mess around in the blood red while I wait for y'all.
Nice. I think we might have a full party right now, but I don't know.
Oh dang.
No, we did. Woo!
Or actually, I don't know. Am I already using your last game?
No,
Oh,
it's Friday.
I know you and Totem kind of go to bed at the same time.
Oh,
shit.
yeah, on the
Oh
weekdays.
shit.
yes.
Oh shit. Oh fuck.
It's because we're codependent and siblings does not mean we do everything together.
I ringed around a Rosie.
I'm sorry, to think this isn't a totem because that's the fourth one I found.
You found 4 totems and still can't find Ruin.
I found one in
That's
the
wild.
shack. I found one upstairs. I found another one down here. I
Yes,
found one on
there's
the
one
other
more.
side of the map that's empty and blank. It wasn't glowing.
Are you playing on console today, Endless?
I'm actually on PC right now. I'm all updated.
Ooh.
Oh, that's right. You haven't updated since.
I found it!
Yeah.
Yay!
Nice.
Now we can actually play.
So there should only be one totem left after this one, because I've cleansed every single one I found.
Hang on, I'll
Then
be
we'll
back.
Running a
know
full
it.
My homie just invited me to a game.
Oh sweet.
Oh yeah. I might be back. I'll see you guys later.
Okay,
Alright,
sure.
have
Yeah,
fun.
I might be up
Bye.
for a bit.
Nice. You know I still got you on alert. Alright, so we're gonna play with King Hype. Let me pull up the PlayStation party so we can hear. See what we got going on. Oh whoops. Sorry. That was I turned my Nintendo Switch on. There we go. All right. There we go. I was gonna say I was worried because I was moving around and I couldn't hear anything. Yo, my fault. I'm on the Deddies, but I'm live. So if you wanna,
Hey yo.
yeah, I'm streaming right now. So there we go. All right, I'm on the Deddies. I'm ready.
You ain't gonna press